Okay, here a video on how you can create a lot of motifs to your own liking and to put them along a path. So for that I'm gonna go and create a new one here for a moment. And how I did it is I first went and made a little rectangle and then went path, object to path, and now I just select it, and so it depends a little bit on what system you're working with. If you're working with metric or imperial, I like to work with the metric. And what I did is I made a 10 mil square and enter. Oh, that one should be 10 also. So a 10 by 10, and I'll lock that. Okay, now I'm gonna go and zoom in. Then what I did is I created a grid in the square. So in order to do that, there is an extension, and that is under extensions, render, and go to grids and a grid. And this is pixels. So now we can go and apply a grid inside this rectangle. And if I go here, live preview, so now I can go and make adjustments if I want to. So I want that one fairly narrow, and now I can go, for that matter, I can go and count my squares I have in there, so I can make adjustments, and I can go 1.8. I can't quite recall what kind of settings I had anymore, but 1.8. So, but yeah, we know Inkscape runs on a 96 dpi, so that is dots per inch, and so you have to do a little bit of a conversion if you want to have a specific amount of squares in rectangles or grid in there. And 1.8, we go enter. So now we have a grid, and it might need a little more adjustment, but that's okay for this purpose. Might have to go to 8.5. 8.5. That looks better. So that's what I did first, and what it does, and then go and apply, and then in our object panel we can see that the grid is made up of a separate path. And if we want to change the color on the grid, we can go and set the stroke for the grid to whatever liking. So it depends how bright you want it. Okay, let's leave it at that. And once we are satisfied with the grid, then I like to go and lock it in place, so there's no changes what can be made to the grid. Then what we want to do is for creating our motifs. Let's see here. Zoom to fit a selection, so that way we can have everything nice on the screen. Then what we want to do is we can set our enabled snapping, and we can apply all the snappings. Then we can go and to our Bezier tool. To the Bezier tool, and we can start drawing. And we want to draw the start point on one end and the end point on the other end. And we want to have them straight across from each other. So if you want more guides for helping you out with it, then what you can do is you can snap guides. You can also go and say, hey, I want to have one on the center line. Then I can pull a guide down that way, and we can draw a guide this way, put them on the center. Then we can go with the Bezier tool. Now we can go and start drawing. So say I'm going to start drawing here, and we have snapping enabled. So then we have two options. We can go draw straight across one line, and we can press the enter. Now we can go and make that line a little narrow, and then go to the node select tool. Oh, I think I got a dashed line on that. I should go and check that for a moment, because I find it easier to work with a solid line. The stroke style, okay, stroke style is solid. Okay, we're all good. Then what we want to do is we go and we create nodes. And these nodes, that is where we're going to start working with. And as you can see, they will snap all the time toward a spot or on an intersection of where the grid is. And then we can go and create more nodes, and we start moving these nodes. This way we know that the end point, the start point and the end point are always in the right position. And so we just creating more nodes, and then we go and place them. And with the grid we have the advantage, then we can see right away what is happening on the one side and on the opposite side, so that we get them symmetrical. Oh, I don't want to drag that. I want to go and double click to create another node, and then place it, create a node and place it, and let's see, that one may not be really perfect, but just to give you the idea. And there we have it. Now we have a motif. So now what we'll do is we'll go and select the motif, and we can just like that, and we can drag it out of the way. Then what we can do is we can use that motif. I'll go and let's create a circle or an oval, and path, object to path, and we'll set a fill to none. and we have a stroke. And what works the best for putting a motif on the on a path, that is that we go and split one of the nodes. So that one is split now because you will find out in a moment the reason why. So now we'll go and select the motif what we created. We go and copy, and then we will go and select the oval, and with the oval we will then go and path effect, click on the path, click on the plus, and then we go pattern along path, and then we go and paste path, and now you can see something happened there, and that looks pretty strange, but the reason for that is because we have here pattern copies, and that is set to single stretched. So we change that to repeated, and there you have all your little hearts around an oval. But as you can see, the spacing here on that is where I went and split the node. The end one is always a little bit of a problem, so that is why I went and split it. Now I went to the node select. Now there is here this circle. With this circle you can change the width of your pattern a little bit. And it is a little hard to see, but there is two nodes here, so we can also, I just have to move that node first for a moment to see the other node better, and then I can go and select this node, and I can go and join that in place and make a minor adjustment on the curve. And now I have a full pattern. Then what I will do is select, go to fill and stroke, set my dashed line, and now I can go extension, ink stitch, params. And as you can see, there is a pattern. The pattern may not look the way we want it, because what can happen is that the running stitch length is too long or too short, that it doesn't look good. So we can also go to the manual stitch placement. Then what will happen is every node that you placed in your pattern, that from the one node to the next node, that will become a stitch, one single stitch. So there you have it. It's as simple as that, and you can create as many as you want, and you can also, for that matter, even go and use it for filling up a fill area by just using multiple lines in there and apply your motif onto the shape. And I'll show you a few more of my motifs. Like these are a bunch of the motifs I have created, and they will all give you a different design on the contour. It's a lot of fun, and happy digitizing, and have fun and play with it. There is so many motifs that you can make. Every little stroke and every little corner will give you a different look. So play with it and make a few note adjustments. And as you can see, these are all one path. Sometimes it is a little bit of planning on which direction you need to go. But like this one, I'll zoom in a little bit. It is all just with straight lines, and start here, up, over, come down, and then win this square all the way around, then over here, come down again, all the way across, do this square, and finished up this way. And as you can see, on all of them, the start point and the end point, they are all across from each other. So that way you can match them all up on your pattern. Okay, thanks for watching and have fun.